Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season of AI. And today we are excited to have Subhasish sir with us, who will be delivering a powerful session on MCP. So, if you are looking to stay ahead in the world of MCP, this is a session you won't wanna miss. So, without any further ado, I would like to invite Subhashish sir to take us on this exciting journey of MCP.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And thanks to all of you for joining. So this is myself, Subhasish, and so I am with Microsoft for almost 5 years, about to complete 5 years, so 4 and 8 years something. So before that, I was working with another organizations, IBM. So I'm currently working with the working as a Microsoft Cloud and AI consultant and delivering the cloud AI Azure related solutions and these AI related solutions as well. So today's topic that we are going to cover is that uh, the MCP model context protocol that we have implement. We can see it's being used in multiple places and what is all about that and why we need it and the core concept, the tools, resources, and the prompts associated with that and the architecture based on which the uh, MCP protocol works, stands for, and then how it's integrated with the LLM and other things, and then some demo, and then after that we can have some Q&A. Okay, so this is about the agentic coding, just some brief of that. Okay, this accelerates the delivery by shifting from code to outcomes because we need to plan engineering the things better and then coding we need to do first. So that's why we have the GitHub Copilot and other such kind of tools. So we'll use that also in today's session as we move ahead. Yeah, now touching to the main code part of the MCP and its importance. Okay, so basically, what is the problem is that, say, for example, we have multiple applications earlier. How we used to connect is that, so if there are multiple applications connecting to different systems or LLMs and then all these things, then based on those targeted systems, the APIs and other things needs to be modified. Okay, so MCP basically gives the advantage over there. Um, it's a basically each app talks to the systems differently, right? So different apps, different ways. So there should be a single protocol using which it should better communicate, so that we can have a uniformity in place and all other different solutions that we'll be building on years ahead. Going further, also we'll follow some standard protocol that we see for other protocols as well. So there is also a need for having a protocol. So that's what uh, this serves the purpose here. And so so there we have the answers from the MCP side, right? So it's a protocol. So this is a universal for all AI apps that can basically discover tools or resources and call them predictably. Okay, so it's not that so there is flexibility basically in place. We do not need to change for each and every change from other side. So for example, one example that we put it here, that some retail assistants reads the product catalog, okay, and checks the stock and then draft an order tool, okay, for an approval. So this thing is a example of that. And then benefit is that the fewer book scope connectors, right? The simple audits and portable servers across clients. Okay, it can be basically cloud desktop, it can be cursor or VS Code. Okay, from where we can it can work as a client and then it can connect to that MCP servers and get the things done. And if, say, for example, we need a private in-process function call inside some app, okay, then we should not expose the MCP and then AI tool because of the security reason. And this is some of the AI tool, AI agents that can talk with the MCP server. Okay, so we can have some input from the system, user management, or some agents. Okay, and agent will be, of course, be using the prompts, instructions, tools, and then the LLM, of course, the backbone of that. And output will be some agent message or tool results or back and forth communication. And then the tool calls the MCP server, basically that agent, right? So from that agent, we have tools that will call the respective MCP server. So basically, MCP server, MCP client connects to the MCP server. Okay, so we have the next architecture in place that we'll see there, and then how there are different components of the MCP server. Okay, so MCP basically gives a central server to client purpose. We have now also one more thing called A2A, right? Agent to agent. So there two agents will communicate with each other, kind of orchestrations needed. But MCP is something like that. It's some sort of hub and spoke. So MCP server and then others will communicate to the MCP server. So that's what a centralized process to manage um, between different agents or different other clients to work with. Okay, why MCP matters in AI integration? It's a simplified AI integration. Okay, MCP solves um, the end-to-end problems by enabling the seamless connections between the AI models and external tools. And it reduces some vendor lock-in. Standardizations allows reuse of the MCP server across platforms, decreasing the dependency on specific vendor and increasing flexibility. Enhanced security controls, of course, MCP also takes care of the security, incorporates the capability, negotiations of the human approval to ensure controlled and then transparent AI interface. It does not do anything without taking the approval. So, of course, that's the, it follows the AI, ethical AI things, and then accelerated agentic application development. MCP provides a basically consistent interface, facilitating rapid creation of the AI agent in the environment like IDEs and Copilot tools, etc. Okay, so these are the core concept of the MCP. Tools as the executable functions, resources as data access, prompts for workflow guidance, and modular and scalable architecture. So if we'll talk about the first one, then MCP tools are functioning. MCP tools are basically functions that are exposed by the servers, allowing the AI to execute actions like API queries and other workflows. Okay. And resources and data access. Resources represent data accessible by clients through URIs, including files. We can attach file, we can have the connections with the databases, and then um, we can also handle the API responses. Okay. And prompt and workflow guidance. The prompts are reusable templates using AI models to perform complex tasks consistently and reliably. Okay, so basically it's a part of that prompt engineering, giving a prompt and then executing these things. So that's the part of that. And the modular and scalable architecture, MCP enables the modular scalable AI system with dynamic discovery of the innovations of the functions, fostering interoperability. Now moving to the main thing, that MCP um, architecture and the protocol mechanics. So it's a that I told before also, that this is a client server architecture and with components. Those can easily integrate and then provides the flexibility of that. That's the main purpose of the MCP. So it gives the dedicated client server connections. Each MCP client maintains a one-to-one connections with a server, ensuring isolations and the reliability. Okay. So everyone connects to its server. It is a kind of hubs and then spoke, instead of between spoke and spoke kind of thing. And the flexibility server deployment. So if you go to the productions, then we can um, deploy that server also using the Docker, and then locally also HDIO, and then remotely connect over HTTP with the server sent event SSE. Okay, that way you can do it. And also modular and scalable architecture, right? So every solutions, if it only is modular or scalable, then it cannot handle the bigger load. So MCP also able to fulfill that purpose as well. So modularity ensures that a server failures does not impact other connections, right? And supporting scalability of multiple agents workload. So as we are talking about, that multiple agent can connect to the MCP server, of course MCP should be able to handle that. And if for one side of the agent, MCP servers is getting busy or there is some issue, then other agent should not get that impact. Okay, so that's why it should be it should ensure the modularity of as well. Okay, and support for the concurrent operations. So of course, so multiple connections to be established, right? So in that case, different servers and then simultaneous that will be connecting. So simplifying the troubleshooting, and then of course enhancing the concurrency. So it should handle the concurrency because multiple connections and multiple processes will be embedded or linked with that. Okay, this is the simplified architecture of the MCP. Okay, so we have, if we think about this MCP architecture in the uh, center, then these are the three main pillar connected with that. One is the server, that is the MCP server. One is the MCP client, and another one is the host. Okay, so basically MCP host, for example, the Cloud or desktop or VS Code, Cursor, Copilot Studio, all this. And this host embeds the LLM and a client layer that communicates with the MCP server, basically. An MCP client, a communication bridge created by the host, okay, and maintains the one-to-one connections that we told, right? We say everyone will connect MCP server one-to-one directly. So there is no interconnections of this or intercommunications of the process. That's where the difference is between the A2A and the core difference between the A2A and the MCP, right? And then MCP client, and then after that the MCP server, that we know that it's a virtual. It's a it provides the executable actions, okay, and then provides the resources, and then it has the prompts, and then of course tools and other capabilities. So those all things will get from the MCP server. So this is just one example. Say here it can be Cloud, it can be okay, MCP host, it can be Visual Studio Code or whatever. So it holds the basically it is the host of that, and it has the client. Say for example, we are having the chat client, okay, and then we are talking with the MCP server A, we can talk with the MCP server B needed, okay, or multiple client can talk with the MCP server A as well. And if needed, that server A will connect to that some Postgres database or some file system or some other things. Okay, it can be some Azure stuff or whatever it is. So basically, the concept over here is that in case something changes over here from Postgres to we are changing to the Cosmos, then basically the MCP server will take care of that. We do not need to change anything from the client side. So that's the main purpose of that. So we'll tell some tasks to do, then MCP server will take care of that, and MCP server will communicate with that the respective data source or whatever it is according to it. So that's the flexibility or loosely coupledness that it provides for the MCP. Yeah, it is the same that this is the part of the MCP. These are the hosts, Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio. We can have the MCP hosted in the deployed environment, or you can have also the Copilot, okay, as a chat client, okay, and then servers can be GitHub server, Azure. There we can basically we can host that MCP servers. There are a lot of Azure MCP, right, for each and every services nowadays. So in case we want to do anything there, we want to execute any query or any other things, then we can pass this information or any other tasks to be done. So then we can communicate with that Azure MCP server and get it done. Okay. And here are the protocols that is getting followed. Okay. Protocol flow and the JSON RPC communications. So basically, it initializes the chat, okay, initialize the client, sorry, the server capability exchange, then server response, what it supports, then discover the to-do list, okay, or resource list or prompts list. So basically all the uh, different type of toolings or tools or whatever it is, and then it calls that tool, okay, and then read the resource read. Okay, in case any resources there, any CSV or in database or anything we want to add it, then it can also do it. So it's not that always it will connect to LLA but then do that. So in case there is something we can embed as a resource, also we can add that resource and then get the things done from there. So this way we can also reduce some token related things and token usage and other cost for that. Okay, and then we have the functionality of notifications or some actions for that. So structured bidirectional message, actually MCP allows us to uh, integrate with. So MCP uses basically JSON RPC 2.0 protocol and enables the structured and both way bidirectional communications between the client and server. So it is a one-on-one communication that we already talked about. It's a bidirectional communications. And the initializations and the handshaking, okay, the next step. The protocols basically starts with an initializations and handshake exchange capabilities and confirming the capability, dynamic request and the notifications, okay, client issues request like tools list, and then basically after taking the response we need to do something, right? So that client will do that. If it is sending some dynamic request or the notification, etc., then client will take care of doing that. And the multi transport support supports multiple transport layers such as STDIO and then HTTP server send event for diverse deployment environments. Okay, that we see in the earlier slide, right? We have a diverse MCP server. It can be local, it can be in Azure hosted and or GitHub or somewhere. Okay, can we move with the demo? Is there any question? Okay, if no questions, we can move with the demo. Okay, so basically you'll see it. So this is public repository available. So you can see it here. Okay. So here there are a couple of multiple samples. So we can take few of them and then try to create the um, local MCP server, and then we'll take that Visual Studio chat as a client of that, and then we'll try to communicate with that MCP server. So before going to start with the demo, first there are a couple of prerequisites that we'd like to call out. The first prerequisite is that, of course, this is a Python-based environment that we are going to work with. And then there are mainly these Python study buddy app that we are trying to demonstrate today. Okay, so before that, we need to do some setup. Okay, how we do setup and what are the things that we are supposed to do is also documented here, and also we can get it if we'll execute that code as well. So this, if you'll see it, right, so these are the prerequisites that we need to follow. One is that we need to have the Visual Studio, okay, and then essential for the MCP deployment, development, and integration. So basically the Visual Studio and this thing. And then we have we have a requirement of the Python 3.12, and then some upper versions also good for it. Okay, then we'll do that Python extensions, and then we'll install the UV, and then we'll set up that the environment, because we'll not take that global environment of it. We'll take that it's MCP, that local environment, isolated environment. For that we'll take it dedicated. And then after that, okay, we have some package and other things that we need to install. Okay, so once we'll do it, basically if you'll see that there are a couple of more packages, whatever it is there, we need it. So those packages are, for example, these are the packages we needed. Okay, so when I was configuring it, then I realized that these are the packages also missing, so we installed that. Okay, otherwise you will see majority of them are available. So apart from that, these packages are missing, and then we need to install that respectively. Okay, this code is not for any agent or anything. So what does it do? I'll tell you. So this is for the lab setting. Okay, so this screenshot that you can see it here, right? So if you want to um, set it up and all these things, then where to be done, it's there part of the code itself. So this is that code. Okay, so basically it says that the lab teaches whatever it teaches, that prompts, tool, resources, and then okay, some sampling, this thing. And then once you will go through it, you will put a next, enter. Okay, then you can understand that, okay, what are the things it says to modify it. So that because if we'll take that code, right, so it will not have this kind of all things and then configurations. So we need to do few configurations here. So it will tell you the step by step what are the configurations needed. So we have a server configurations. Okay, so that's there in that MCP. Sorry, is there whatever the server will open, right? Say for example, it can be the prompt server, or it can be the server 2. So there are two examples that we can talk it today. One is server part 2, and another one is that another one is prompt server dot python prompt server. Okay, so you can see it, right? So what it says is that, so we need to have this thing here. So it means that in the Python, if you are putting that that first MCP, then it creates the MCP server. Okay. So here, if you are running it locally, then um, it will work as the MCP server, and um, we then we can configure the client. Okay, client here will be the Visual Studio um, code chat that will be considering as the client here. And how do we configure that also, that will show it. And then basically then this MCP server, and then we can communicate with that one to one. Okay, so that's the purpose of that. So if you are putting it, then it will be declared as MCP server, and the name of the MCP server will be prompts demo server. And basically it is for the Python learning, some sort of demo the prompts we have. If it is a beginner, then it says that what it is beginner, and then intermediate, advanced, all these things. So just it's a very small code just for the understanding and then initial um, demo purpose. So here you will see it, right? So these things we have done it. And then there is one more thing that you can see it is that MCP JSON. So what I did is that as I uh, uh, planned for these two demos, so I created these two files. Okay, prompts only demo and this thing. So, but this is the main file that it looks for VS Code for that. Okay, MCP server. So once I need that, okay, this is the thing that I want to run it. Then what I can do is that I can then copy paste this thing and paste it in the MCP. Okay. And once I will do that, then I can run that MCP server related functionality and do some chatting, and then see that what it asks for, and some interaction chatting, and then some uh, giving input and getting output kind of thing. So this is the same thing that we can see it here. That is, I've added it, and this line we have just added additionally so that we can we can link it with this thing smoothly with this. Okay. So then what we can do is that we can copy it. Sorry. We can copy this. And earlier, once you will get that code, right, you will see this thing, some sort of this thing, some directory run this thing. Okay, but actually it will be looking like this. You need to give the actual directory path where Python, that virtual environment is available, and then which argument you want to put it. Okay, additional argument, if it expects, then we can pass it here input. So if we press it, then list of MCP servers, you will see it. You can see that. So we can select this one because the name of this one is coming here. And then you can see it, right? Stop server, restart server, as just have started. So you do not see the start options. Otherwise, you can see it also. Okay. So this is the way you can take control of the list, all listed MCP servers that's hooked up to your Visual Studio. Now what I can do is that if you put this thing, right, then you can see some prompts. It is asking that what you want subject. Sorry. Okay, sorry, I was now. So what it was asking basically is um, beginner. So if you'll see the code, right? The code of that. If you'll see the code, basically it is asking for the labels. So based on that, it will add the label and then it will tell that, okay, please generate the prompt for me, kind of thing. Okay, this dynamically it will take that label, then it will make it to the lowercase. Okay, if it matches with that, then it will take that particular prompt mapped with your input text, and then basically then what will happen is that it will generate the entire prompt appending, sorry, means replacing this value according to that. Okay. So that's what I give the beginner, and then what it happens is that it gives me the prompt. Now I can take this prompt and continue here, or I can take it and then go to Copilot or any other LLM tools and then get this thing. Okay, if I execute this thing, it is the JSCP so that you can also see it. It will give a reply. That's it. That we did it, right? So basically it gives the sample prompt to us. So this is the first primary code. Okay. And the next one we can talk about, it will be a little um, more logic into it. Okay. So again, if you'll see that right, uh, this is also the same. I mean, hmm. Again, you can see it, right? Again, it is having the MCP server. That is the second one that we are going to deal with, because this is the simple one. Earlier one, just we have given some text that matches to it and then gives the related prompt to us. And this prompt is somewhere we can take it here or take it whatever other um, Copilot or any other chat GPT or any other place, and then get the output. This is a simple thing. Okay. And now this one is actually talking about a couple of more stuffs here. So basically, we'll see, right? So this one have some decoration for the prompt. So this will take care of the prompt. The similar way, I'm just taking it through first. What are the things it does in different tools? Okay, then another one is that this was prompt. This one deals with it. So you have a tool. Then it can basically work with a tool and then create some exercises. So basically, if you are, say for example, if you are telling, okay, I need some beginner Python related code, right? Then what will happen basically is that it will give some informations. Then you will be enrolling for some uh, sessions or something like that. Then you will get some exercise. So you will have some data created, right? What will be the status of your this course subject line, another course subject line. So that is the training body I have. Okay. So if you are having some tool, what will happen is that then again it will take the that label and then it will create some exercise. Okay, some class has been created. It's the in-memory data, and then it will save that in the in-memory, and it will create the JSON, and then JSON dump will be in the in-memory. Okay, and then this is the data class study in progress. Okay, which one, who is doing what study, what is the status of that, and all these things you can see. So this is basically normal class. We are having that kind of data and storing it. It is another MCP tool. Okay, it is start a study body session for the user. So the description is written what it is doing. Okay, so it has a lot of capabilities, but yeah, we'll not be able to demonstrate all of them because of the time constraint. So we can do few here. And then there is also a functionality of adding some files as well. Okay. So benefit that I told, right? So benefit of adding files is basically we do not need to, we can query within that JSON dump, say, for example, right? So if you're dumping that JSON in a specific place and saving it, and then we can give a path of that JSON dump and then do it. So for that, if you're doing the respective saving and then that necessary some small code changes, we can get that here. Okay. So what we can do now, we can then, if we want to demonstrate that, and before that also in the prompt, we'll see what it is doing. Okay, so if it is label, we are not giving the default is the beginner, and then it gives the prompt, the same thing that it does the before, it covers that one as well. And then apart from that, it has the exercise class, then it takes what are the exercises that particular student is planning to do. For the beginner, it creates some array, and then this exercise in memory DB it creates. Okay, so these all things it handles, and then yeah, generate that exercises. This is the prompt again. If we tell that generate that exercise for that, for the beginner, okay, you will get that. Okay, let's get started with the second demo. Okay. So I'm starting this server. I just copied the study body. I have JSON, the primary server underscore part 2 dot py file here, the reference. Okay. So now if we'll try to chat it with, you can see that, okay, so there are earlier we got the respective prompt for that. Now we can see the prompt for that. Generate Python exercise, okay, and another one is the list of Python topics. So generate, basically it gives the query output of generate 5 Python topics for someone new to programming, numbered from most fundamentals to the most complex. Okay, so this query. So again, we can execute here. Okay, so it's fair enough. So we have got this output. So that input, output, variables, data types. Okay, this all we got it here. It's similar to the one that we had seen it last time. Even if you will execute the second one, right? So So it will generate the exercise. So say for example, if we'll tell that topic is variable and beginner, then it will tell you, okay, you are the Python study buddy assistant. You the user wants to practice these 5 exercises, variable at the beginner, title, description, hint, etc., etc. Okay. Basically, it will generate the prompt and it will interact with that server. It will give this output. It is going to save that in the dictionary, that in-memory dictionary. Okay, then this is basically not interacting with any study buddy app. Run study buddy app dot py. It doesn't basically interact. It's not working as a MCP server, but it gives some dummy output. Just we are some sample code and then save it. Do you want to see the solution? Yes. Okay, it will tell that okay, this is the solution. Did you want to complete it? Yes. So this is just the interaction of that dummy applications. Do you want to continue? No. Okay. So basically, it has not much anything related to that MCP things. It's not a MCP server. It's basically takes that data and then shows it. Okay, so if we save something at this JSON format, then it takes that from the JSON and starts showing it. It has that main. Okay, it takes the username and label as the argument, and then load the exercises. So based on that label, and then if it does not get anything, then it will tell that okay, not found. And it executes that this particular thing. If any exception, it gives the exceptions. Simply whatever we have added it here, just it displays it, nothing. But basically this one works as the MCP server here. And by doing this, we are actually uh, configuring, um, basically we are making our Visual Studio, this chat, as the client that consumes one-to-one the MCP server. Either it can be the prompts underscore server dot py that creates the MCP server with the name of the prompts demo server, and also the another one that we have it, right, server underscore part2 dot py, either of these two. Okay. Yeah, anything, please let me know. Anything we want to discuss. Otherwise, I'll, if not, then maybe it's good to stop sharing.
Okay. Thank you so much, Subhasish sir, for this session. And thanks to everyone who joined us for this insightful session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you.